Welcome to the Happy Pepper channel. David here. It's Sunday, March 24th, and wanted to give you an overview of the grow operation here for the 2019 pepper grow season. So we've got 4 shelves here of a variety of different peppers. These have all been up potted since they were seedlings. They're under T12 lights on the second, third, and top shelf, and there's an LED shop light on the bottom shelf there. Here there's really just a bunch of different varieties here taking advantage of the western exposure of the sun, so it will get southwest to west sunlight throughout the afternoon hours. I'm utilizing the windowsill as well because I have so much going on that I'm running out of space. So let's go take a look at the LED setup and come right back. So here we have a bunch of different varieties under the Aji 20-watt LED light, and they're really doing quite well, again utilizing the same western exposure windowsill again because we're running out of room here. So today is going to be a plant maintenance day. So I'm going to be going through each and every one of these, fimming or topping those that may be in need of that, as well as watering those that will require it. So what we're going to do is dive right down in variety by variety and take a closer look. We're going to start with the Pepper in the Can Challenge. So I decided to participate in the contest on MeWe. I do know that there is a Pepper in the Can challenge also on Facebook. So what I have here is 3 mini ties. I have a Buena Mulata, I have a Sugar Rush Peach, and an Aji Lemon. And they're all doing really good. They really didn't need much maintenance today other than water. Okay, so we have a mix of both Fresnos and mini white habaneros here. Of the 10 that you see here, 5 required some topping, and all of them got a drink. So let's see what's up next. Here's what's going on with the Carolina Reapers. If you've been following the channel, these 4 in the styrofoam cups here were the ones that I planted for my brother from another pollination, Adam the Fixter, and they're all doing quite well. They just got a drink of water. This one here in the double cup, I just released a video yesterday. This one came out of the cloning site of the Aeroponic Garden and just transplanted yesterday, and it's doing exceptionally well, so really happy with that one. This guy here was actually a cutting that I propagated just in a glass of water last fall, and it's really slow going. In fact, just about a week and a half ago or so I thought it was going to die on me, but all of a sudden it started making a comeback, so we're going to hang on to him. I do have 3 other Carolina Reapers that I've overwintered. They're in some larger containers. They're doing quite well, and I also have 2 in hydro setups, 1 in a 5-gallon aeroponic setup and 1 in a 4-gallon aeroponic setup. And those will be going out once the weather breaks for us here in northern Illinois. So that's what's happening with the Carolina Reapers. So next up are the Cayennes. They're doing quite well. The 4 in the back were just topped today and got some water. And these 2 here in the front were topped last weekend and already showing some nice new growth on both of them. These 2 also got some water today. You know, I planted quite a few Cayennes. I didn't have quite as successful germination rate that I hoped, but I had 6 plants last year. They all produced more than really what I needed, so I'm hoping that these will continue to stay strong until they get out in the garden and survive and thrive. So that's what we have on the cayenne peppers. Next up is the mini tie, and funny story, the Fixter had a beautiful mini tie pepper plant I guess some of his kids had friends over, were playing. Something happened, the plant snapped, and that was it for that. It was a goner, so I said not to worry, I'm going to be planting some mini ties, and I'll be able to send a couple of your way. Well, my germination rate was absolutely ridiculous this year on these mini ties. And what have we got? We've got 15, 16, 17, 18 along with the 3 in the can challenge. So I don't think he's going to have to worry too much about mini tie plants. The majority of these today did get topped. Believe it or not, they are, even though they're that small, they were still starting to produce buds. So too early in the season for that to happen. They all got a drink of water as well. That's it for the mini tie. Next up is the Santa Fe Grande. And these guys are looking pretty good. I did not have a very good germination rate on these Santa Fe Grandes this year. I only had 3 that came up and survived, and these are actually doing quite well. The 2 in the front were topped today. They had buds coming out. And the one in the back in the double cup is doing exceptionally well. The 2 in the front got a drink today, and the one in the double cup is doing just fine. So that's the Santa Fe Grande. Next up here are the jalapenos, and you know, these are really doing great. Again, better than expected germination rate. I ended up with quite a few of these. A handful of them were topped, and I don't know what's going on with a lot of my plants this year, but many of them are small and throwing out buds much sooner this year than they did last year, which is prompting me to go ahead and top them. Again, I'm still probably about 6 weeks out from getting these outdoors to harden off, so I do have quite a bit of time. Not very concerned with the fact that I'm topping them when they're this small. So everything looking good. They all got a drink of water and looking good. That's it for the jalapenos. Next up is the Aji Rainforest, and although these plants look like they're kind of small, they were actually very tall in their germination cells. When I up-potted them, I planted them as deeply as I possibly could in these cups. Ajis have a tendency to grow very quickly, so didn't want them to be too big before they went into the garden. No topping necessary on any of these, just gave them a drink of water, and they all seem to be doing quite well and look pretty happy. So that's it on the Aji Rainforest. Next up is the Aji Mango. We have 7 of these, and they're all looking really good. No topping, fimming needed. Just gave them a drink of water. They're all looking happy. They're looking healthy. That's what we have on the Aji Mango. Next up is the Big Thai. These plants are doing really well. No topping needed. Just got some water. A couple of these here in front are a little smaller. I only ended up with 5 of the original germination set. That's why these ones here are a little bit larger. So I wanted to get a couple more germinated. I was successful in doing so. This is the variety that I use in my Thai garlic hot sauce, as well as in the Happy Pepper Blend powder. So these are all doing really good. Again, they just got a drink of water. And that's it for the Big Thai. Next up is Ornamentals. Really doing quite well. No topping, fimming required. I think all but one of these are being bottom fed. The other still top fed. Those that are being bottom fed got a drink, and the one being top fed was doing just fine. No water required. Next up are mystery chocolates. Mystery because these were sent to me by BD Beats, labeled mystery chocolate. They came to me about 2.5 weeks ago, something like that. Germinated in a 6 cell, and recently up-potted to these cups here. They seem to be settling in quite well and looking happy, looking healthy. So I guess time will tell once they begin to fruit exactly what the mystery is. So again, mystery chocolate. Next up is the Cayennes Star Lemon Starburst. Well, as you can see, I had an incredible germination rate on this variety. Looks as though I have quite a few to choose from in terms of the contest plant. I've got some time before I need to make that decision. Once I have, it will be going into a 5-gallon sub-irrigation planter. But in terms of maintenance today, really, they just got a drink. Some of these over the past few weeks have gotten some pruning, but none have been topped. So there we go, the Cayennes Star Lemon Starburst. Next up is the Cayennes Star Sriracha Pumpkin. Another heck of a germination rate on this variety. Nothing more today than just some bottom watering. Everything is looking really good, very healthy. Very pleased with how these are coming along. The Cayennes Star Sriracha Pumpkin. Next up is the Cayennes Star Scarlet Rose. All of these are doing quite well, and we've got 8 of them, and no maintenance other than bottom watering. So here we go, the Cayennes Star Scarlet Rose. So next up is the Cayennes Star Sriracha Bonnet. All of these guys are looking really good. No topping, no fimming required, no pruning required, just a drink. And these are all being bottom fed at this point. So there you go, the Cayennes Star Sriracha Bonnet. Next up is the Orange Habaneros. So if you've been following the channel, the 7 Orange Habaneros in the double red cups were planted November 20th. I planted them early in the Aero Garden and then transferred them out into the double cups. These plants are super strong. They have been topped, they've been pruned a number of times, and are really doing great. They are really right where I want them to be at this point. These orange habanero plants were very prolific for me last season, and my intention with these were to get them in the ground with nice strong stems, trunks if you will, and really bush out and produce wonderfully. So really quite pleased where they're at this point. They did get a bottom drink today, so they're happy. If you saw the video that I released yesterday, this is the orange habanero that was the top of one of these in the red cups that I popped into the Aero Garden, the do-it-yourself Aero Garden cloning site. It was potted up into soil and really has been doing wonderfully. The other 2 are kind of late bloomers here. I did plant, I think, another 6 seeds, and these are 2 that survived. The fixer wanted some orange habaneros, so I told him that I would plant some for him. I'm not concerned that these are on the smaller side. As I mentioned earlier, I've got about 6 weeks before these will go out to be hardened off, and once they get into the ground they will just kind of take off. So all in all, the orange habanero is doing well. So next up is the Chocolate Ghost, and these guys are doing quite well. Only water today. They've had some pruning. One has been topped last week, doing really well. Pretty happy with how they're recovering after some pretty aggressive pruning. But all in all, quite pleased with how they're doing. So again, the Chocolate Ghost. Next up is the Golden Ghost. So these guys here are doing quite well. Last week they got a pretty aggressive pruning, recovering nicely. All just a bottom feeding today, but Real happy with how these guys are coming along. So again, the Golden Ghost. Next up are the ghost peppers. These two got a pretty aggressive pruning last weekend, but they've bounced back nicely. No additional pruning or topping needed today, just some bottom watering. So there you go, the ghost pepper. Okay, next up is the Rob Blumberg Yellow Jacket. This variety again was one that got a pretty aggressive pruning last weekend, recovering nicely. No topping, fimming required today, just some bottom watering. So the Rob Blumberg Yellow Jacket. Next up are green bell peppers. Now these are doing pretty well. I grew bell peppers last year, and these here are growing a little bit differently. They seem to be a little shorter, a little bushier. There's been no pruning, no topping of any kind. They're doing well. They're very healthy. They all are being bottom fed. We have a couple that are on the smaller side. This one seems to be struggling maybe just a little bit. But all in all, they seem to be doing pretty well. A green bell pepper. Next up is the Cherry Stuffer Hybrid. It's a sweet pepper. I know that looking at this, they may look like they're not doing very well, but actually they are doing quite well. These have been pruned pretty aggressively, more than once, and they bounce back very nicely. A number of them have been topped, and we're getting new growth where they've been topped and or pruned. So not at all concerned about this variety. I know that it's pretty sturdy and is going to bounce back real nice. A little bit of pruning today along with some bottom watering. So the Cherry Stuffer Hybrid. Next up is the Golden Baby Bell. Only have 3 of these. A fairly prolific plant. I really like these sweet peppers. They ripen to a beautiful golden color. These two have gotten some pretty aggressive pruning, topping. They always bounce back really nice. Nothing today other than water. So the Golden Baby Bell. Next up is the Aji Sun Rise F4. So the Aji Sun Rise is a cross of Chris M with the Pepper Lovers community. I know that some of the other folks within the Pepper Lovers community have grown this out. But I want to take a moment and point something out that was really interesting. All of these seeds were sown in the exact same seed mix, potting mix. And take a look at this. This one here has white leaves. Now there were a couple of others that came up that didn't make it. This one is surviving. These other 2 right here actually were as white as the one on the left, and they seem to be filling in with some chlorophyll and are looking to be a little bit stronger than they were, and certainly a little bit stronger than this one. So the jury's still out on this one as to whether or not it's going to survive, but I just found it very interesting that some of these came up with completely white leaves. So we've got a few that didn't make it, one that's unsure, and 2 that look like they're coming around, and the others are really doing wonderfully. No pruning, no topping, no fimming needed today, just some watering. So the Aji Sun Rise F4 by Chris M. So next up, left to right, we have the Black Panther. Looking really good. I obtained the Black Panther seeds from the Fixter. Looking real good, doing well. Next up here is the Darth Maul. Again, looking real good, real healthy. No maintenance on any of these plants today. I watered them the other day. No pruning or fimming or topping needed. And 7-pot yellow. Again, no watering, just gave him a drink the other day, but wanted to show him off a little bit. Looking good, looking healthy. So the Black Panther, Darth Maul, 7-pot yellow. So running out of sunlight a little bit, the room here is dimming, and these plants that I'm going to go over with you now don't require any maintenance whatsoever. They did get water the other day and are not in a position for pruning or topping, fimming. We have the red habanero here, more orange habaneros, chocolate habaneros, some Indian carbaneros, some that are labeled Charles P. Orange. The original pods came to me from Charles P. I took some pictures, sent them over to him. He wasn't quite sure what they were. Charles grows so many peppers, it doesn't surprise me that he wasn't quite sure. So I just titled them Charles P. Orange. Also have some chocolate scotch bonnets here as well, but all looking super healthy, doing well, no maintenance required today. So back in the LED grow room, guys, again, all of these plants that I'm going to go over with you were just maintained the other day. They are not in need of any pruning, fimming, or water at this time. But we've got some white peach here, looking real good, looking real healthy. We've got some aji lemons going on in here. Some buena mulatas, a little guy here, but he's looking super healthy, looking good. A few larger buena mulatas. In the back there we have an aji lemon. This guy wasn't doing very well, and I don't know if the light's going to pick it up. We'll do that. I thought I was going to lose him, but I gave him a little water, put him on the windowsill with some natural sunlight, and he's really doing well. All of these that you see here I have titled as Charles P. Mixed Red Super Hots. Another example of some of the pods that Charles sent to me. I took pictures. He wasn't quite sure, couldn't quite identify them for me. So I simply labeled them Charles P. Mixed Red Super Hots. And we'll see what we get come harvest season. Maybe I'll post some pictures on the Pepper Lovers community, and some of you folks that might be able to identify those peppers perhaps can help me out. A couple of newcomers. We've got some pepperoncinis in here, some little guys. These were just up-potted the other day, so really nothing going on here. I went over the baby bells with you guys a little while ago. I only had a few, so I did plant a few more in here. They look like they're doing good. Peach Ghost. So we've got some really nice peach ghost peppers here. Again, no maintenance required. They were just maintained the other day and watered and really looking good. Some other Charles P. Orange. Not really sure what those are either, but again, maybe we can get some help with that down the road. And some beautiful orange nagas here. Really impressed with this variety and how well they're coming along and how healthy they are. So that's it for the LED grow room, with the exception I almost forgot. We've got a Cayennes Star white tie. So this guy's doing quite well. Up-potted him when he had just a couple of true leaves just last weekend, and he's really popping, doing well, so couldn't be happier with that. So I hope you enjoyed the tour of the Happy Pepper grow operation and drilling it down to the individual varieties and what we've got going on here. If you did like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below. I do like the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell if you'd like to be notified when the next video is released. So thanks for watching, and happy growing!